If you walked out of your business today, would it still grow or would it crumble? This question used to plague me. Most leaders think that loyalty and hard work are enough. They're not. If your business can't run without you, it might not be worth what you think. So today I'm going to break down 4 leadership gaps related to your team that can quietly kill your exit value. I'm going to show you how to build a team that gives you freedom instead of dependence. What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Own the Exit. I'm your host, Aaron Leatherdale, and today I want to break down for you guys 4 components of a successful team, how to build an exit-ready team. And now, I'm just going to jump right into it. Number 1 is what I call owner dependence. And this is just so common for entrepreneurs. And a lot of it's rooted in ego, a lot of it's pride, but a lot of it's just not being self-aware or being so invested in your business that you think that you're the man, right? Or woman, where it's like, hey, I started this business, I got this thing off the ground, I built this business. No one can do my job as good as me. And that actually might be true, but you aren't going to be able to grow a business that has a lot of value. You're not going to be able to grow a business that can flourish without you if your role in the business is a central key role. You're always going to be stuck. And so I think if you want to have a business that has a lot of value, if you want to be able to exit your business for a lot of money, or maybe you want to keep your business for the rest of your life, but you don't want to be bound and chained to it, you've got to build an exit-ready team. I don't know if it was Henry Ford or Harry Truman. I've heard a few people that, attributed to this quote. It's amazing what you can get done if you don't care who gets the credit. And I think that's something we need to remember in business is we need to be able to delegate to our team. We need to be able to surround ourselves with people that are smarter, faster, better than us, because that's how you're going to scale. And that's how you're going to give yourself that freedom and that independence from your business. In business, I always have this thought. I'm always thinking like, how can I replace my job? Or how can I replace this guy's job or that guy's job? Not that I'm trying to get rid of those employees, but that I'm trying to move them up to the next, to scale, to grow. And Dan Martell, I think he has a quote, he has a book, it's called Buy Back Your Time, awesome book. And I think he says something like 80% done by someone else is better than 100% done by you. And I totally agree with that, because if you're the bottleneck and everything has to flow through you, you're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to be tied to your business. You're not going to have the freedom. And also your business might not be worth as much. And so when it comes to business, to projects, to creative, to launches, to everything you're doing, my partner, Caleb Edwards, likes to say, done is better than perfect. So that kind of leads me into point number 2, which is replace yourself early. And I think as founders, we just want to hang on. We're just like, I'm the man. Like I've done all this. It all revolves around me. Or we feel important, or we feel validated, or because we're like, everybody has to come to us. But that's not good from an exit standpoint, because again, you want to be able to eventually replace yourself, and you want that business to be able to continue on without you. For me, I've always had the philosophy that I want to be the dumbest person in every room. I know that sounds funny, but I want to surround myself with people that are smarter than me. Because why would I surround myself with people that are dumber? I want to surround myself with people that have more skills, more aptitude, more work ethic, more drive, more everything, because the business is going to be more successful if I do it that way. And it's not going to all fall back on me. And as an entrepreneur, I've started multiple businesses, and some of them, they all started in the early days where I was the guy, right? I started the business. I was doing everything. I was doing stuff at night. I was doing all the different hats. And that's fine when you start out that way, and that's normal. But I don't like doing that. I've been able to grow into the place where different team members are wearing different hats. Everyone can be successful together. The business can grow more, have more value. And then I can also have a more clearly defined role doing only the things that I'm passionate about, that I'm good at. And again, I think a lot of it comes down to ego. It comes down to insecurity. I was just talking with a business owner last week. We were having lunch, and he said, man, the guy's very successful. He's doing business like networking events like all over the country. He's doing 6 a year. People are paying 20, 30,000 to come to him. And he's got just tons and tons of people. And he's selling online courses. And he's like, the biggest bottleneck or the biggest breakthrough in my business came when I realized that I'm not the guy. Like, I have to be able to delegate those things to somebody else. And he had this like nagging thought of, I can do it better than these other people. Like, this is my baby. And it's, yes, that all could be true, but you have to release, you have to delegate, you have to train others and have them grow into that and take ownership of that so you can be free. And your business is going to be worth more if you do it. Because think about it. If somebody buys your business, you're probably going to be gone. There might be a transition period where you work for the business for a couple years, or sometimes a couple weeks, or not at all, where they just replace you. And if they do that, that you realize, like, if you're the thing that's holding it all together, then no one's going to want to buy that business, and it's not going to be worth as much. They want to get you out of there and have systems and processes that can grow, that can scale, that can generate revenue without you. So that kind of leads me to my next point. Loyalty isn't enough. And so a lot of small businesses, you've got your cousin, you got your brothers, your friends, your team, they're there because of relationships. And that's actually really cool. They're there because of relationships. They're there because they're loyal to you. But you've got to separate that. You've got to have the team in clearly defined roles. You've got to have the team buying into the mission, not just the leader. Because when you go to sell that business, it's going to be about the mission, right? And the leader's going to be gone. You're going to be gone because you've sold the business. And so if all of a sudden your team disperses, the team is one of the most valuable assets in a business. So if somebody's going to buy a business and you're doing their due diligence and they realize that everybody in this company is loyal to the leader. And when this thing closes, the sale, all those people are gone, or 50% of them are gone, the business isn't going to be worth as much because that team is also what they're buying. And I would say be working to have your team buying into the mission and make sure that your team is in right roles, in things that excite them. The compensation is right. Everything's clearly defined, because then if you step out of the picture, the business can go on. Point number 4 is basically the exit readiness test. So I've talked to multiple business attorneys. There's this guy, we actually had him on our podcast a while back. He specializes in preparing businesses to exit and getting their financials ready, getting the narrative, getting the team, get everything buttoned up. And he actually says it can take like 1 to 2 years prior to a sale to prepare your business for the sale. It's just like when you sell a house. You might take a couple months. If you've ever sold like just a house, like your personal residence or anything like that, it can take a couple of months. You got to fix stuff up. You got to make it presentable. Maybe replace some carpets, maybe paint the garage floor. You do all this stuff so that it comes to the market, show ready, it presents. It's the same with business, but it's actually a lot more work because you've got to refine all the processes. You've got to, because if you don't, you won't get as much money for it. And so this attorney was basically saying a lot of businesses, though, they don't think ahead because maybe they don't think there's going to be an exit. Maybe they're not planning to sell. But even if you're not, you should be running your business so that you have a pulse on what the value is, what the appraisal would come in at. And a way of doing that with your team, because this is 4 points about an exit-ready team, is have all of your processes in writing, have all of your team's roles, descriptions in writing, have all of your files all cleanly buttoned up, have everything nice and tight so somebody can look at that and it's, what are you guys doing? It's, only the leader knows. It's in the leader's head, or the executive admin who is the one person in the company that knows all about the company. That's bad. You want all that stuff in writing, because what if that person quits? You want everything in writing. You want everything clearly defined, and your business will be worth more if you do that. And so I just wanted to clarify one thing too, and we say this on Own the Exit all the time. An exit could look different for you than the next person, right? Sometimes an exit is a sale where you make $1 million or $100 million or whatever it is. Fantastic. But that's not the only kind of exit. There are a lot of people that they like their business. It's a cash flow machine. They built it up. And maybe they just don't want to do all the work in the business that they did when they first started it. So they hire somebody to replace them, but that business continues, right? So there are different types of exits. There's some exits where you completely get out and you're like, I don't even, just buy it. But a lot of entrepreneurs, that's their baby. So some of them, they don't want to sell it because they're emotional. And so they still want to be a little bit involved or still want to own it, but they want somebody else to step in and manage it. And that could be you can have a really clean exit by doing that, where somebody else steps in. And there's also partial sales, right? Where it's like somebody buys into the business, where let's say your business is worth $1 million or $20 million, somebody say, hey, I'll give you $5 million for a part of the business, and then I'll come in and work. And then you can step out and you get a little payday, but you still own part or most of the company. There are different types of exits, and only you can define what a successful exit looks like for you. So in summary here, basically four points, right, on how to have an exit ready team, right? So it's basically the owner dependence, having the ego, just realizing, hey, you're not the greatest person in the world. And even if you are, you're going to be stuck if you're always trying to fulfill that role. Release, let some other people, get them in there. Number 2, get them in there quick. Don't wait till the business is growing and growing to get the smart, because those people are going to be your greatest asset, right? Those are going to be the ones that help you scale the business and add value. Loyalty isn't enough. I'm always a big fan of hiring friends, of hiring people that have shared values, of people that I have a pre-existing relationship with. I actually really like that. But at the same time, it can't just be based on friendship or loyalty. It has to be based on having those people in the right roles, having everything nicely buttoned up, because if not, it's just going to be too loose, right? And the business isn't going to be worth as much. And if the business isn't worth as much, actually it hurts everyone, because there might not be a business. So those people that are in the business might not even have a job. And so it's not just about the founder making more money. It's about creating a stable business that's actually long-standing, so that the people in that business can get pay increases and have job security, and the business continue to grow and provide stability for everyone that's working in the business. And then number 4, the exit readiness test. Have everything lined up as though somebody was going to write you an offer tomorrow. Because one of my best friends, he's actually up in Canada. I think we're going to interview him on the podcast here in the next couple weeks. He was running his business. He built it from the ground up, started with a domain name. And one day he gets an email from Goldman Sachs in his inbox. We want to buy your business. And he got a huge payday. And he didn't know that offer was coming. But he was ready. He was managing his business and everything was tight. So they were able to come in and they were able to value that business. And he was able to get more money than if it was all just a mess internally. And action steps, here's what I want you guys to do. Post on LinkedIn, post on Instagram, tag @OwnTheExit. Share this podcast with another leader that you know. And let us know in the comments. Hit us up on social. Let us know the feedback. And thanks for checking this episode out. I'm Aaron Leatherdale. This is Own the Exit. I'll see you next time.